Okay, so today we're doing simple interest day 2. So this is what we learned yesterday. So somebody refresh my memory on what the formula is for simple interest. Marley. I equals PRT. So write this up at the top of your paper. I equals PRT. Remember that my R has to be in what form? Decimal. So it has to be converted to a decimal, not a percent. It will always be given to you as a percent. And then what does my T have to be in? Years. Good. So if you are given, in your problem, the time is given to you in months, you have to convert it to years. So you're going to divide the months by 12. Okay. Alright, so example number 1 says, how much interest will Hannah earn in 4 years if she deposits $630 in a savings account at 6.5% simple interest? Okay, so first thing I need to do is I need to identify my variables. So my P, my R, and my T. So what is my P in this case? $630. What is my R? 6.5%, and then once I convert it, you're moving that decimal place over twice, so 0.065. And then what's my T? 4 years. Okay. So remember, all I'm doing with these numbers is I'm multiplying them together. So I equals 630 times 0.065 times 4. Interest is talking about money, so my answer should always be in money form. So what do you get? 163.8. 163.8. Do we all agree with that? So if it's 0.8 and I'm writing it as money, what is it going to be? 0.80. Okay. So my simple interest is $163.80. So that is telling me that after 4 years, that savings account is going to earn an extra $163.80. So my total amount that would be in that savings account would be $630 plus this amount. Okay? So your interest is telling you how much money that bank account is earning you over however much time. Okay. Questions on number 1? Okay, number 2. Terry invested $2,200 in the stock market for 2 years. If the investment earned 12%, how much money did Terry earn in 2 years? So, what's my P? $2,200. My R is 12%. So can I go ahead and just write it as the decimal, or do I need to show you how to change it again? We should be good. Okay. So 0.12, right? We good on that? So then my time is what? 2 years. So when I multiply all those together, it should be $528. Guys. So I don't think you probably didn't convert your decimal correctly. So if I'm plugging all this in, times 0.12 times 2, I get $528. Okay. Questions on that one? I'm going to skip number 3 if that's okay, because it's exactly like numbers 1 and 2. And we're going to move on to 4. Is that okay? Okay. Number 4, it says, when Melissa was born, her parents put $8,000 into a college fund account that earned 9% simple interest. Find the total amount in the account after 18 years. So in this case, I'm finding how much money was in that account after 18 years. Okay? So I need to find my interest first. So I'm still doing I equals PRT. So my P is 8,000. My R as a decimal, 0.09. And then my T is 18 years. So when I find my interest, my simple interest, $12,960. Okay, so that $12,960 is how much money that account is earning. Okay? So if I want to find the total amount that savings account has after 18 years, that means that I have to add what I started with, so my P, which was 8,000, plus the interest that was earned, which is 12,960. Yes, you're adding the original amount that you had plus the interest that it earned over however much time. In this case, it's 18. 20,960. So after 18 years, she had $20,960 in her college fund. So when she graduated high school, she had that much money in her college fund to go to college with. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. A lot more than that. About at least quadruple that, 4 times that much. College is expensive. Guys, we're not learning about college cost right now, okay? We're learning about simple interest. So number 5, it says that Raj inherited $900,000 from his father. After paying $350,000 for a house, he invested the remaining money in a savings account at 4.25% simple interest. How much money is in the account if Raj makes no deposits or withdrawals for 2 years? Okay, so he initially had $900,000, and then he decided to buy a house for $350,000. So what is my P going to be? We're going to subtract the 2 numbers because it says after paying $350,000, he invested the remaining amount of money in as a savings account. So we have to figure out how much he had left after he bought that house. Guys, quit talking. So after he bought his house, he had $550,000, and that's what he invested in his savings account. So that is going to be my P. So then my R, which was his interest rate, was 4.25%. So as a decimal, that's 0.0425. And then how many years are we looking at? 2. 0.0425, yes. I did. See, my decimal was right here at 4. So I move it once and then one more. So that means you've got to add a 0 in there. Huh? It's asking how much money is in the account if he makes no deposits or withdrawals for 2 years. So that's my time. Okay. Okay, so when I multiply all those together, tell me that answer again, Braylon. 46,750. So he earned, in his savings account after 2 years, he earned an extra $46,750. But remember, the problem is asking how much money is in the account after those 2 years. So what do we have to do? What am I adding, though? What two numbers am I adding? The 550,000 plus 46,750. So my final answer is what, Ben?
It is 596,750.
596,750?
Yep.
Okay. Questions on that problem? Ask them. What's your question, Olivia?
Dollars.
I got 460.
So you multiplied by 100.
No, I didn't get the zero on the 460.
Okay, if I have the percent 4.25. Okay. This is a percent, so I want to change it to a decimal. So I have to move that decimal 2 places to the left. So this would be 1 place, and then 1 more would be right here. But I don't have a number here, so I have to add a 0 there. So that means it's 0.0425 as a decimal. To the left. You moved it to the right. Yes. Yes. All right, moving on to number 6. Mona opened a savings account with a $500 deposit and a simple interest rate of 5.6%. If there were no deposits or withdrawals, how much money is in the account after 8.5 years? Okay. So we're looking for how much money is in the account after the 8.5 years. So we've got to find our interest first and then add that to our original deposit. So what is my P? $500. And then my R is 5.6%, but as a decimal, what is it? 0.056. And how much time are we talking about? 8.5. I'm going to change that to a decimal because I think it's easier to punch a decimal in than a mixed number. So what is 8.5 as a decimal? 8.5. We should all know these decimals from our fraction to decimal memorization test. So what is my simple interest? 238 what? Dollars. Okay. So that's how much money that savings account earned after 8.5 years. But now I want to know how much money is in that savings account total. Good. I'm going to add 500 to that simple interest. Ben. $738 is how much is in that account after 8.5 years. Questions? Okay, so number 7 says that Malik, I guess it's Malik, deposited $1,050 in a savings account, and it earned $6,241.50 in simple interest after 4 years. Find the interest rate on Malik's savings account. So I'm going to find the interest rate. What variable normally stands for my interest rate? Rate. Interest rate. R. So in this case, I'm looking for my R. So I have I equals PRT, right? So it tells me that my Malik deposited $1,050. So what is $1,050? Which variable does that stand for? P. Sorry, that's what I deposited. So P equals $1,050. It earned $241.50. So what does the earnings represent?
The rate, the percent.
Okay, so if we look up at, let's see, what number was it? Number 2, it asked us, how much money did Terry earn in 2 years? He earned $528. So remember, the interest, the simple interest, I, is how much that savings account is earning over an amount of years. So in number 7, if it tells me that the account earned $241.50, that is my interest. Okay? So I equals $241.50. Does everybody see where I'm getting that? If it says how much money was earned, that's your simple interest. That's I. So if it's asking, the question is, how much money did that savings account earn? Then all you're doing is finding I. In this case, that's what I'm doing. In this case, they gave me I because I'm finding the interest rate, which I know interest rate's always my R. Okay? So R equals what? We don't know. That's what I'm trying to find. But do I know how much time I'm talking about? How much? 4 years. So I know what P is, I know what I is, and I know what T is. So I'm still just going to plug those numbers into my formula. But it's going to look a little different because I equals $241.50. So that equals P times R times T. So P is 1,050. R I don't know, so I'm just going to write as R. And then T is 4. So I'm still using the same exact formula. I'm just solving for R this time instead of solving for I like we're used to. So what do you think I have to do over here first? Multiply. This means that it's 1,050 times R times 4. So we can go ahead and multiply these two numbers. 4,200 or 4,020? Messed up again. So it's 4,200 what? Times R. I can't forget about my R up there. So now how do I solve for R? This is a one-step equation now. So I'm dividing both sides by 4,200. So these numbers cancel, leaving me with R. And then what's that? 241.5 divided by 4,200 gives me a decimal of 0.0575. What does my R always have to be in? Decimal, but it's always given to me as a what? As a percent. So in this case, I've got to change this decimal into a percent. So how do I change this into a percent? I move it to my decimal place 2 times to the right. So normally I'm moving my decimal place to the left because I'm going from percent to decimal. In this case, I'm going from decimal to percent. So I'm moving that to the right. So R equals 5.75%. So nothing changes other than you've got to pay attention to what information they're actually giving me. Okay? So if it says that so-and-so amount of money was earned, whatever is earned, that is I. Okay? So in number 8, we've got one more problem, guys. Number 8, it says that Kelly Ray's inheritance from her great-grandmother was $220,000. Wow. $220,000 after taxes. If Kelly Ray invests this money in a savings account that earns $18,260 in simple interest every year, what is the interest rate on her account? It's asking what is the interest rate. So out of these variables, which one stands for interest rate? R. So I'm solving for R in this problem. So what is my P? 220,000. What is my T? We're looking for every year, so it's just going to be 1. This $18,260, that's how much the savings account earned. So what variable is 18,260? I already found P and T. I is 18,260. Remember that R is what I don't know. That's what I'm solving for because I'm looking for interest rate. So now when I plug all those numbers into my formula, I, we said, was 18,260. P was 220,000. R is what I don't know, so I leave R there. And then I'm looking at 1 year. So 220,000 times 1 is just 220,000, right? Did I left off a 0 here. So 18,260 equals 220,000 R. How do I solve for R? So these cancel, leaving me with R equals 0.083. Is that a decimal or percent?
Decimal.
That's a decimal, so I need to change it to percent, right? So I'm moving it to the right twice. So R equals 8.3%. Questions? Okay, so the back of this sheet is homework.